To Mr. Sherill, I wanted to ask you, in your compelling personal story of redemption and accessing a payday loan to build a business and take advantage of a second chance that was given to you in your life and really be the embodiment of the American dream, at that time in your life, did you have access to a faith-based church or organization that could have given you credit?
No, I had access to nothing, and that's why I chose to go to the payday lending. It's nothing out there. Like again, I said, I commend Dr. Hayes for that. If he had one in my city, I'm pretty sure there'd be a lot of people like me going to see him. We looking for something. We have nothing, and that's why I chose to go to payday lending.
And I think that spells it out right there. Sometimes there aren't as many choices as we need, and I think your story demonstrates that the greatest protection for consumers, the greatest consumer protection is competition and choices. And if we had more choices, we'd have better opportunities for people to do what you did and achieve the American dream. And I commend you for that. Let me just ask you, Mr. Sherill, if you didn't have that opportunity for that payday loan to build that business, where would you be today?
Possibly back in prison. Because, I mean, we result back to what we used to. And if I'm used to the streets and getting money from the streets, then, you know, I would most likely go back to that because it's survival of the fittest. I mean, if you ain't got it, then you got to go get it some type of way.
Well, again, I appreciate the fact that your story is one of redemption and second chances and taking a risk and the hard work that it takes to do what you've done.
Thank you.
You know, a lot of talk today in this hearing about predatory lenders and making people victims. Mr. Sherill, do you view yourself as a victim?
No, sir, not at all.
So if you don't view yourself as a victim of your business partner, Advance, describe that relationship that you have with your lender.
Well, my lender, I got to know them. They're basically a pillar of our community in Nashville. I mean, they give back a lot. You know, I'm here solely because of me and my reasons, but they are in our community. They give back a lot, and they gave me an opportunity when nobody else would.
To Mr. Simmons and Mr. Shaw, I think, Mr. Simmons, you made the point that banks don't do this. And I want to explore that issue because, again, as I said before, I think competition and choice is the best way to protect consumers, in addition to state-based regulation, consumer protection laws. Kentucky has one of the most advanced consumer protection laws in this area, and unfortunately, the Bureau would cancel out what our General Assembly and our regulator and our governor have done in that area. But let me just explore why banks don't do this. The CFPB, the OCC, and the FDIC, they've issued rules that have limited banks' abilities to compete in the overdraft space, in deposit advance, and short-term lending, with only a few banks left even offering such products. So it looks to me like the regulators in Washington are squeezing both sides of this. And as Mr. Sherill says, you're going to go get a loan. I think your testimony, Mr. Sherill, was, I can say that there are other places I could have gone for a loan. You don't want me to tell you about those places or those people, but they are out there. If we're denying the American people access to credit from banks and traditional lenders, and then the Bureau comes in on this side and denies people like Mr. Sherill opportunities here, and there's not great people like Dr. Haynes in the community, in the faith-based community, where are these people going to go?